Yeah, man, it's 24th of June, 2023, and I'm going to just go in general talking about neural monitoring and a lot of this broadcast torture stuff. I got a lot of good points to hit on. So, the reason I started doing this video is because they started attacking me severely. Like, I feel like sometimes these broadcast attacks are life threatening. And if I feel like it's life threatening, the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, I need to go public. I need to go public and talk about it because if it's dangerous to your life, then you want a clue of who's doing this. Okay. And on this channel or my other channels, whenever I've talked about neural monitoring, many times in the past, I've talked about exactly who, exact people, real people. And I stand by that. And it really is those people. And if they're not the exact people that are on my neural monitoring, then they are associated with the group and they do know who's on my neural monitoring. So if I've ever said somebody's name on this channel to be involved with neural monitoring, then even if they're not directly responsible for these torture attacks, they know about it and they're involved with it and they've conspired with these people. They are an accessory to this broadcast torture because they are part of this group and they continue to do this kind of stuff. And they like this girl that has my neural monitoring. Okay. She's an accessory to broadcast torture because she has allowed these guys to have access to my neural monitoring to be able to do these things. And it's very likely that there's an arrangement between them. Like, I'll let you be on the neural monitoring and you can run your live streams, but here's the arrangement, here's the terms. And it's very likely that there is some financial arrangements within those arrangements and within those terms. And there's most likely some, I would say, influence or some requirement to torture. Like, if you're going to be on his channel, you need to do some kind of torture and make it miserable for him. Otherwise, I can find somebody who will. All right, so I was just chilling, man, and I went to take a shower, and every time I get in the shower, they all start talking it's like I can't be occupied with anything else because I'm in the shower. I'm isolated to the shower. I can't study my schoolwork. I can't get on the YouTube or watch videos. I can't call somebody. I'm in the shower. Okay, so it's just me and the shower. And they take this as an opportunity. This is an opportunity to have my full attention. And that's literally what they do. And it instantly turns into a torture fest. And there's about 5 of them that stay on my channel full time for 4 of them. One of them likes to come on the weekends and randomly during the week with the other guys. And he's probably one of the most abusive. And he loves to try to use the Black James voice settings. The whisper. Okay, this guy Black James, when he came on my neural monitoring in 2015 as the first full-time 100% time gang stalker on my channel. I knew who he was. I knew who he was is the first time he started talking because I had met him probably 10 times prior to this. And I instantly knew that it was him. Okay. And you can always look back and if you ever doubt yourself, you can always look back to 1,000 instances of verification and don't ever forget what you know. Don't ever forget what you know. If there's something that's questionable or it's up for grabs, keep it that way. But if there's something you know for certain, don't ever forget what you know. Even if it's 5 or 10 years later, don't forget who's doing this to you if you know. Okay, because there's going to come a day where you're going to be able to say, yeah, it was that person. These people. Okay, so he was the first full-time guy. He used to whisper real slow and like, he's got kind of a deep voice. He'd be like, he talk real slow and turn up these signals, and it would almost make me want to talk along with him. Then he would say, I can talk for myself. I can talk for myself. Anyway, he's like a pretty well-known gang stalker. In the gang stalking world, he's a well-known gang stalker. And all these guys that are on my neural monitoring, they look to him like like you would look to Michael Jordan. Okay, if you're like a basketball person, they look to him that way as gang stalkers. And he's pathetic, really, just as pathetic as the rest of them, but he's very much a huge influence on a lot of these gang stalkers. He's from the kind of the west side of the Atlanta area, like West End, and they call him Black James. If I knew his last name, I'd say it all over the internet. Okay, but he is a big-time gang stalker. He does this. He does mind control, neural monitoring, live streams. He's involved in lots of other criminal activities, but I'll leave that. That's really not anything that I care about. Okay, what I care about is that he's a gang stalker and he uses neural monitoring to torture people and to profit off of people. It's an exploitation and it's a conspiracy and it's genocide and it's slavery. And he's a big-time gang stalker. But him and this girl that has my neural monitoring and all these other people that I've mentioned over the years, they're very much gang stalkers that have access to neural monitoring and use it in malicious ways. And they know exactly who these 5 guys are that come on my neural monitoring and like to put their broadcast all in my neck or something like that. Now, let's talk about that for a second, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys have difficulty understanding exactly how that works. Okay, so imagine an orb around me, let's say 4-foot orb from all directions around me. So I'm in a 4-foot circle or floating in the middle of a circle with 4 foot all around me to clear. Okay, maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe it's smaller than that. Okay, but that's where I am. I'm sitting here in this truck and there's a 4-foot circle around me and that's like my broadcast zone. Okay, it's very likely that on neural monitoring, you can set it up to be different ways, okay? But that's me sitting right here where I am, okay? And if I was to broadcast that scene and put it on somebody, that would be my broadcast. And I could use that broadcast to penetrate into their body and to cause horrible pain and bodily damage in a way that's considered assault and torture against another human being, attempted murder, okay? And that's one of the things that they do, right? So you might look on a reflective surface or something around you and see like people. You might see people that are somewhere else. Like it looks like you're looking into some kind of a warp zone from the Mario Brothers, or like you're looking into some kind of projected image on like a glass, like black tinted glass. Works very well for stuff like that. And a lot of people that have neural monitoring, they do a lot of like EMF stuff. They call themselves like EMF people, or they like to study EMF, electromagnetic field, electromagnetic frequencies, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's EMF, and they study this, and they'll take like an old projection TV and take like the glass, primary color glass lenses out of that and use that and like black tinted glass and things of that nature to create an EMF setup to be able to see broadcast in ways that you're not really able to see it from your eyes, like the visible light spectrum, and you have to project it like and they can just receive it out of the air. If like somebody's connected with them on neural monitoring and they have that broadcast coming to them, they could just project that onto from their EMF setup and like see the person where they are. And it's almost like a FaceTime, okay? But it's FaceTime without a device. It's FaceTime just with satellite broadcast, and that's EMF broadcast, and there's no cameras necessary. There's no cameras necessary, and every reflection around you and EMF waves themselves are reflective. And so they can receive those, whatever frequency they broadcast those waves at, they can also receive those waves and see a view from that. So it's like a video without a camera. And that's why you have targeted people, like they're looking everywhere for the camera and stuff like that. And in the beginning, like that's what we all do in the beginning. When you first realize they can see you and they know what you're thinking, right? And you're looking everywhere for the cameras and you're trying to figure out how they know what you're thinking. And like I used to call it the readout. And I literally thought that they were sitting there looking at, like the computer system was reading me and they were sitting there looking at a screen that printed out like what I'm thinking at the moment. And that's not how it works. They're actually receiving it directly into their mind as if it was their own thought, including vision. If you see something, your eyes see it, okay? People say they can see from your eyes. Not exactly. They can see what you see because your eyes see something and then your mind interprets that, okay? And then they can receive your neurological processes. So, and when they see that, they wear these things over their eyes, these covers over their eyes, and they literally see what you see. As in, like they saw it themselves, not like they're looking at it on a screen. They literally know what you're thinking because they receive it in their mind. And it's like they thought that themselves. And that's the way that neural monitoring and mind control broadcasts, EMF broadcasts, it's one of the ways that it works. And they can literally see what you see and know what you're thinking as if it was their own neurological processes. And that's a huge advantage that they have. So they know when they put a broadcast in my neck right here and it feels like my whole neck's going to rupture and I'm going to die any second. They know I feel that way. They know I hate it the most. And what the first thing that happens is I start thinking about what would be appropriate for them to have as a consequence for doing such a horrible thing. And that makes them angry. And then they react on that anger because they don't like you thinking about what you think would be a good thing that should happen to them over the things that they're doing to torture and harm humans, right? And when you think about that, it makes them angry and they do more to you, right? But they know you hate that particular thing and they know it bothers you a lot because they're receiving your thoughts, your neurological processes. So if something bothers you the most, that's what they want to do the most. And good luck trying to hide it. Good luck trying to think, oh yeah, that's great. I'm about to die from this attack broadcast where they've placed their broadcast into my neck and I'm about to die from that, but I love it. It's great. Please keep doing it. And you would have to legitimately think that way. And you can't like pretend to think that way because they know that you're pretending. And then they pretend to believe you. And it's like, that's like, they love it when you put a tinfoil hat on your head, right? And they'll stop attacking you. They'll stop attacking you because they want you to look stupid, right? People are selling these Magneto helmets and all this stuff. And like, they love that. They love it. They'll stop attacking you. You wear one. Right? Because they want you to walk around looking like an idiot with a Magneto helmet on your head. It doesn't stop them. Not really. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Tinfoil hats or Magneto helmets or trying to cover up. I used to use like all kinds of foil and like everybody else does. I used to get those things that block the sun from coming in a car windshield and sleep under it. Called it my wave shield. Doesn't help a bit. Not at all. But they love it. They might pretend like it. They might stop doing certain attacks to pretend like it works so you'll keep doing it. That's the kind of thing that they love to do. By the way, this is posted originally. Right now, I'm going to post it on the remote neural monitoring channel because I'm not allowed I'm not allowed to post on my other channel right now. They gave me a strike for something. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it. So I won't. But it was nothing really, and it's not what they say it is, but there's been other times where they've done stupid stuff too, where they give me a strike for like, one time I got a strike for taking a video of myself without a shirt on, and they called it some kind of sexual content or something. And if you really look around YouTube, like people have no shirt on all day long on YouTube, and it's no problem whatsoever. And I think a lot of the time it has something to do with somebody reporting something that you're doing and saying, oh, this is offensive or whatever. Because the video that they said was a problem was already had like 800 views or something in the first week. It was up almost a week and then had all kinds of views and then they did it. Right. And I think somebody went and said something. But either way, I want to post unique videos on this channel and the other channel. I've really got like 5 channels, but it's hard to build them all up. And, on this channel, the remote neural monitoring channel, I've got like 900 subs. And on the other channel, I've got almost 10,000. So, if you've got 10 times more subs, you're going to get 10 times more views. And I want the most people to see it. So when you have a channel that's established, it's difficult to say, okay, I'm going to work on this little channel and try to build that up. But I am trying to do that. And it's good to have multiple channels that you can post unique content on. And I'm sure I'll take them in a little bit different directions in the future once they are all established well. But anyway, moving on, man, these attacks. So that was the first type of attack where they can actually put that broadcast, and it's just them where they are. And they could put that broadcast in your body and penetrate your body. The second way is when they're on mind control, same difference. They're always on mind control when they're doing this. They have the thing on their head. Most of the time, think covers over their eyes, and they can see what you see, or they can see you from some other waves or reflective surface or whatever. It's just broadcast. There's a lot of ways they can set it up and just panorama around you and do different things like that. But the second way that they can use broadcast is they can actually connect to a hologram broadcast. So it's like just like a hologram walking around somewhere else. Like I'm 1,000 miles from them. And they can be where I am as a hologram broadcast through this satellite broadcast system. And by mind control, by being on mind control, they can actually have the experience of being here where I am. And those type of hologram broadcasts, again, it's out of the visible light spectrum barely, okay? And it almost will be like, you can almost like see it at a peripheral vision, or if you use the right methods or have the right circumstances in lighting and atmospheric conditions and things like that, you can actually catch glimpses of them. Okay, and photography can also catch glimpses of them. And there's a lot to be gained from understanding that. But with those hologram broadcasts, it can be this big or they can be 10 feet tall. With those, they can physically attack you. Again, they can just go on your body and penetrate into your body and do whatever they want. So they can go in and just start touching veins or nerves or something like that. And it hurts. It hurts bad. Now, let's talk about some of the dangerous things about it, okay? When they're in my neck, moving around right here, it feels like my neck's going to rupture. I know that there's main arteries around that area. I know that like there's lymph nodes and stuff in that area. And I know that it supplies my brain with like oxygen and blood. And they attack blood vessels and circulation and blood flow a lot. They do that a lot. And if they put their broadcast onto like a group of veins or something, and it hurts bad, and it can actually cause the circulation to become less efficient, and you can start to have like numbing areas and different things. Also, it just feels like it's going to rupture. It feels like it's going to cause damage, and I could fall over dead any second. That's why I'm doing this video now. And again, like I said, if I ever said people's names on this channel as people that were involved, they are involved, and they know who's on my neural monitoring, and they know who's attacking me. One of the most dangerous things is when they attack your heart, when they penetrate your heart, your actual heart and the arteries, the aortas and all that stuff around your heart. When they do that with their broadcast, I think that's probably the most dangerous, because I think that could kill you instantly. I feel like they've given me a minor heart attack with broadcast before, and that's when somebody I know to have neural monitoring and possibly be involved with these gang stalkers showed up as one of the EMTs when I called 911. I had an ambulance come, right? And they basically scared me into not going to the hospital, not coming with them. You know, they intimidated me, and I feel like I'm dying, right? And gang stalkers been attacking my heart with broadcast. I feel like I'm dying. It's like 2 years ago, and ambulance came to everything in my house. All right, and one of the guys in the ambulance was somebody that I know, and somebody that I feel like is very probable to be a gang stalker, and I know they have neural monitoring. The other ambulance guy was somebody that I believe has had involvement with some of these broadcast episodes with these gang stalkers, because he seemed familiar and reminded me of somebody to do with broadcast. Now, isn't that strange? I don't know how that really works. I know the one guy who I know he is actually an EMT person, but for him to show up then when they were attacking me, and I know that he's a person that has neural monitoring, and then for them to kind of like intimidate me that maybe I should just go back in and, call it a night and relax or whatever. And like, it's sketchy, to say the least. Okay, I'm not one to always say, oh, everybody's involved, but at that point, it definitely seemed like it. All right, when they're attacking your heart and stuff like that, I feel like that's very dangerous. They'll work on things because, like, if you ever get attacked with broadcast, you can feel like the heat difference. Like if they put a broadcast right here on your stomach, and you feel a different area of your stomach, there's going to be a temperature difference where the broadcast is. And that's why it's kind of promote the idea of maybe getting a professional grade thermal imaging camera just to show that difference, to show that this exists. And this is a scientific grade instrument that I'm using, not some app or something like that, a scientific grade instrument that costs $1,000 or more. And use that to show that, there is a temperature difference. And I know there is because I can feel the temperature difference when I touch that area with my hand, and I can like move it around and feel like the hot area. Okay. And it's not something that's subtle. It's very obvious. So I know that that's a fact. And when they try to work on an area, like I'll go to sleep, right? And every time I wake up, like it's like, oh, they're all broadcasting my stomach area. And they just put their broadcast there, and it just basically cooking your organs and your intestines and your muscles, and it's making you weaker, and it's hurting you, basically cooking you from the inside out. And it's important, very important for targeted people to drink a lot of water because of these circumstances. Because if you start drying out your organs and stuff like that, it'll start to deteriorate the flesh, and it leads to more kinds of vulnerability for like cancerous stuff or anything, and disease, deterioration of your body and your organs and your muscle systems. And that's their intention. When they put a broadcast like on your foot, within the bone and all into veins and in your foot, right? And they do it for months and months, just kind of subtle, but not real subtle. It hurts so bad I want to cry. And I've talked about it many times on my channels. But they'll put that broadcast there, and if you can stand it at all without going to the hospital or making a big fuss, doing 10 videos and calling out people's names, if you can stand it at all, they'll leave it there. They'll leave it there. And typically, okay, just to be very honest with you, typically if they're attacking you with broadcast and they remove that broadcast, you're perfect instantly. No more problem. Like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't, like if I was to punch you in the face, okay, it would hurt right then, but it would also still hurt tomorrow. Okay. So it's not like that. Okay. It's like something that hurts while they're doing it. And then if they stop 10 seconds later, it doesn't hurt. And it doesn't feel like you're injured 10 seconds later. But when they work on something persistently, daily, day in, day out, for months and years at a time, you do start to notice that even when they stop, there is some lasting injury. Okay, and that's their goal, is to deteriorate your body and to kill you slowly and to cause damage to your body in a way that will allow them to get away with it, where it's not instant. They've done it over the course of 5 years, and now it's, like I've been slowly cooking his foot for 5 years. Like, yeah, that's really what they do. And it causes you to become physically disabled. And they want to debilitate you physically because they feel like that gives them more of an advantage, more of an edge on you. The bottom line is you're not going to get help from the police. You're not going to get help from the crooked government. And these gang stalkers have shown us that they'll do this forever, that they'll do it for years. They'll do it for decades. They don't care. They're addicted to mind control. They love the way your mind works, but they never want you to get your neural monitoring. They've collected your data and put out live streams and built this whole empire of your life and your neural monitoring and all these shows they've done about gang stalking you and doing stuff to you. And they're never going to just willingly allow you to get that. Okay, so what they would like to have happen is to be able to do this to you for 20, 30 years, then you die and they're not associated with your death. That's what they'd like to have happen. And of course, neural monitoring people that have neural monitoring, they know it, but obviously nobody's coming forward with this kind of information. All right. And I'm sure that neural monitoring and gang stalking have caused many, many deaths. And you could very likely conclude that those deaths are murder. That's really, and with that said, you can conclude, obviously, logically, by default, that these deaths that could be ruled murder from gang stalking over time starts to become genocide. You can say that without very much argument in the other direction. And the fact that governments looking the other way, nobody seems to care. If you got neural monitoring, great, you're part of the group. If you don't, then nobody cares about you. You're targeted, and they look at you as some sort of lesser person. All right. The one solution is knowledge and success. Okay. You have to learn about computer programming and all kinds of network things. I would suggest, if I had to say a place to start, I would say start with Python, Linux, PHP, and database stuff, just in general, just to give you a general thing about how it all kind of works. But I know a lot of them use Linux to do a lot of stuff that they do with the virtual machines and the taking over of your devices. And it's the most powerful operating system as far as, like if you wanted to hack something, or if you wanted to learn how to hack something, or if you were developing programs and applications and stuff like that, you would actually use Linux to test the security level of them. You would use Linux to ethically hack your own stuff to try to figure out better ways to keep it from being hacked. And that's what developers do. Okay. Python, I say that because it's becoming the most popular, one of the most popular languages, and a lot of network stuff is written in Python. So if you get Python and Linux and learn about some networking stuff, you're already moving in a good direction. Database stuff, just so you can understand how to interact with databases. And PHP, I say that because all these gang stalkers talk about, they used to. They don't brag so much anymore to me, or when they're talking about things, because I'm so public now and they don't like all this information getting out there. But they used to talk about PHP all the time. Okay, and I know that like the social medias that they use to live stream in the background and basically hijack this, like your accounts and like the background, okay, and create applications and do all kinds of stuff. They do a lot of that with PHP. Excuse me. So those are some good places to start. I wouldn't sleep on web development either, because I know that I've seen things like where everything is hidden in plain sight with gang stalking, neural monitoring. All this stuff's online and on the computer, but you don't take it the wrong way. Like I'm saying, get rid of your devices and shut down all your accounts, because it won't help. Okay. What will help is you learning what you have and learn how to use all this stuff, like the ways that they have learned with the top secret programs and stuff that they have, because I know half of them are idiots and they're not great hackers and all this stuff. They just have access to programs because they have access to neural monitoring, and they can run these sophisticated programs that they could never figure out on their own, but they can do it because they have neural monitoring. It gives them access to a different level of stuff that we don't have access to. Okay. But web development is important because a lot of the things are so like hidden in plain sight. Like if you follow my videos for years, there's like this one thing, I forget what it was, like a peanut diamond thing or something. And then there's like the thing with like where you go on to like a lot of little sites, just like eDo this, and just basically pages. And you scroll down the bottom and they have that box for the messaging and stuff like that. And you can do like certain little things to slide patterns, or like the videos that have, where it's just like a secret video. Like you would use one of these slide techniques, and like it would slide past the original screen availability, like into like a secret area. And then from there you would have like a video, and you would have to do like Start from the I think the lower left corner, and it's like one, like look, the lower left corner, so like one, and then you'd have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, okay? And you would skip 2, skip 2, skip 2, skip 2. All right, and you would just keep doing that until you went all the way around with like a touch screen, okay? And it would unlock, it would collapse inward and spin, and it would unlock the real video, which is like gang stalker, EMF broadcast stuff. And so anyway, the point is that all of those kind of things, you start looking into the source code and all the elements and everything of the pages. If you understand web development, then it's all there to be found, what's hidden in plain sight. But you have to know what you're looking for. Just going and searching around and saying, oh, this div or that element or this thing or whatever, and you look like, oh yeah, okay, this idiot doesn't know anything, because you're just looking at a bunch of stuff you don't understand, and you think everything's something, but most of it ain't. You have to understand it. So that's why I say web development also is a good pathway. I talked to one of my professors yesterday, and actually it was this morning, or yesterday morning. It's late at night now, but I've been on this little night shift thing for the last little while. But anyway, he was telling me like how I should sign up for this other type of course, like a dual enrollment thing, where a lot of my classes are the same as that particular thing, and I could end up taking like 6 more classes and get a whole nother degree because they're so similar. And I was like, yeah, I already really looked into some stuff like that, but I'm gonna go talk to him and see exactly what's the deal with all of that. But this guy's like really deep into development and all of that stuff, and I'm starting to actually enjoy this stuff and like this stuff, and I'm into it a little bit now more than ever, really, because I'm starting to understand things, and it's like a whole different thing when you kind of know a little bit. Okay, so but I'm just going to continue to take college classes, and I don't care if I get 5, 6 degrees. I just want to know. I want to know this stuff because it's going to help me in my life. I mean, yeah, of course I'd be able to probably get, a very high paying job or make millions developing my own stuff. But that was not my motivation to start doing this. It's just going to be a result of it. My motivation was gang stalking because I know how it works. I know how they do all of this stuff. And it really boils down to the bottom line is their mentality is wicked and evil, and they want to torture people for fun, and they're cowards, and they're so empowered because they have something that gives them so much power over us. And for that, we must learn, because we're smarter than them. That's why they want to suppress us. That's why they're connected to us. You wouldn't go and connect to some idiot. It wouldn't be that interesting. You'd be annoyed all the time. Okay. But, you would go and connect to a rocket scientist, because understanding, receiving the neurological processes of this person on a comprehensive level, on something that you can comprehend, because it's like you could see the mental, or you can receive the mental process, and it's comprehensive in the way that you can receive it. So it makes somebody that's not that smart all of a sudden understands very smart people things. And with that, they're mind blown, and they become mind control addicts, and they're addicted to mind control, and they won't go away. So if you got gang stalkers that have been on your neural monitoring for years and years and years, I know that you're very, very intelligent, and you can do this kind of stuff. And you just got to start. You just got to start. If you don't make a ton of money already, then you'll get FAFSA, which is the federal aid, Pell Grants and stuff like that. And if you go to a local community college like I did, you'll be able to pretty much go for free. You might have to pay. I think I had to pay, like, if FAFSA ran out for this year, and I had some summer classes, and I had to pay like $1,200 or something like that. But typically, I don't have to pay very much, because the FAFSA covers it, because I'm going to community college, and they're not that expensive. And the Pell Grants and stuff like that, they pay for most of it. So there's no reason or excuse not to go. And you can go part-time, online, take a couple classes per semester. And even if it takes you 5-10 years, you're going to learn stuff, and it's going to help your life. So anyway, this video's got long. Hopefully I'll be back on all these channels doing my thing real soon. I know a lot of people aren't going to see this. Share it around if you don't mind, and consider this stuff reliable, good information, because it really is how it works. And if anything happens to me, my videos will tell the whole story. I got 10,000 plus videos on my channels throughout probably about 8 years now, and the story's never changed. It is what it is, and it still is that. So if I end up falling over dead with a ruptured neck, it's because these idiots did it with broadcast. And there's names of people that I've talked about where you could go and say, okay, you're associated with the murder of this person through broadcast. Probably wouldn't happen, but at least it's out there. At least it's out there. So thanks for watching. Please take my advice and start learning as much as you can, and I'll be back real soon.